Hello, my beautiful fiery Aries souls, and welcome back to Astrology Unlocked. Come closer to the screen. I need you to feel this. Have you been sensing that something monumental is on the horizon? A shift in the very air you breathe. A low hum of cosmic energy that's making the warrior spirit within you restless? Because this November, a prophecy, a powerful cosmic secret whispered centuries ago by Nostradamus, is not just knocking at your door, it is here to set your world ablaze. But listen to me, don't tell anyone. This isn't a message for the masses. This isn't for those who haven't walked through the fire. This sacred transformation is meant for you, the Aries soul who has been quietly battling, who has carried the weight of unspoken struggles, the sting of trust that was broken, and a brilliant, blazing light within that you have yet to fully, truly claim. Nostradamus once wrote that the most profound truths are reserved for those on the very precipice of a great awakening. So, if you are here, right now, listening to my voice with a heart that has been forged in fire and has the scars to prove it, then know this is no accident. This is your cosmic summons. This November will not be a gentle breeze, my friends. Oh no, it is a crucible. But sometimes the very fire that threatens to consume you is the same fire that forges you into the unbreakable weapon of your own destiny. Why you? Why did the cosmos choose Aries, the most courageous and pioneering soul, for this incredible test? Let's dive into that mystery together. And as we begin this journey, if you feel that call in your soul, that spark of recognition, do me a favor right now and hit that subscribe button to join our Astrology Unlocked family. We are on this path together, and let me know in the comments below that you are here, that you are ready, by simply writing, "My fire is ready." Take a deep, empowering breath, beautiful warrior, and let's begin. You are still here, aren't you? Standing in the quiet aftermath of battles no one saw, holding the questions that were never answered, feeling the echo of every time your heart was challenged but refused to stop beating. And it is from that very place of power that we begin. This November, something profound is set to unfold. It's not a loud, external cataclysm, nor is it a simple miracle handed to you on a silver platter. It will be a moment, a spark, a critical choice that will feel so intensely personal, it will crack open a door within you that you may have sealed shut long ago. You might not recognize it at first, because destiny rarely arrives with a grand announcement. It comes as a whisper on the wind, a challenge disguised as a familiar frustration. It may appear as a small setback, a truth that comes to light, or a memory that resurfaces with an unexpected charge. And in that moment, you will find yourself standing before that old, familiar fire in your spirit, that feeling that you must fight, that you must push back. You might fear, for a fleeting second, that you are reverting to your old self, impatient, impulsive, and battling the world alone. But please, beautiful Aries, hear me when I say this. You are not repeating a cycle, you are mastering it. This is not a loop of old struggles. It is the final trial by fire before your soul is completely reborn. This is the universe asking you, I know who you were. Now, show me who you have become. You may have stopped believing in easy miracles, but true miracles were never about ease. They were always about the incredible strength it takes to ignite a light in the deepest darkness. If November brings a challenge, if it brings a moment of righteous anger, if it brings back the ghosts of old battles, do not be afraid. That fire is not here to punish you. It is here to remind you that you are powerfully, fiercely alive. It is the confirmation of your untamed, unbreakable Aries essence. The cosmic stage this November is crackling with intensity. The sun is blazing through Scorpio, the sign of death, rebirth, and profound transformation, touching the deepest, most hidden parts of your soul. And directly opposite, a powerful force challenges it. Pluto, the great revealer, the planet of soul-level truth and power. When these two celestial titans face each other, nothing can remain buried. Everything you've tried to push down, every frustration you've swallowed, every time you felt your power was undermined, it will rise to the surface. Not to destroy you, my friend, but to liberate you. Not to make you suffer, but to return you to the seat of your own power. In many spiritual traditions, suffering arises from attachment, from clinging to what was. But for a warrior like you, Aries, the deepest suffering often comes from feeling powerless, from holding back your true fire. In countless heroic tales, the hero is not led into the darkest cave just to be abandoned. They are led there to discover the sacred weapon they need for their victory. So, if you find yourself in a moment of intense pressure, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me again?" I want you to stand tall and ask, "How powerful must I be for the universe to trust me with this challenge?" This is not a punishment, it is an anointment. The cosmos is choosing you, the trailblazer, the leader, to be the one who dares to face what others run from, to transmute anger into action, to feel the heat of betrayal and still choose to lead with an open heart. It is choosing you to stand alone if you must, but to never, ever kneel to despair. And as I speak these words, if you feel something stirring inside of you, a familiar fire in your belly, a righteous spark in your soul that no one else seems to understand, then trust that feeling. You are being activated. You may have felt so weary from the fight that you thought your inner flame was dwindling. But your heart, that magnificent warrior heart, is still there. It beats, it burns, it waits for the signal to charge forward. You were not born to walk through this November with fear. You were born to prove that a spirit forged in fire can illuminate the entire world. If you feel a surge of emotion right now, let it come. This is not weakness. It is the cleansing fire of your soul. Don't suppress it. Don't run from it. Emotions are energy in motion. And for you, Aries, that energy is your greatest fuel. It is the rocket fuel for your rebirth. And in this very moment, if a past battle or a specific challenge rises in your mind, I invite you to do something powerful. Write it down. Not for me, not for anyone else, but as a sacred declaration. Write it down as if you are drawing a line in the sand and declaring to the universe, "This no longer has power over me. I am taking my energy back." When you do this, you will feel a shift. You will feel a surge of power, not because the battle is over, but because you have finally, fully claimed your role as the commander of your own life. And then you will begin to understand why Nostradamus chose you, Aries. Of all the signs, why you? The pioneer, the warrior, the one who never backs down. We will answer that question right after this. Because the prophecy continues. A spark will fly in the darkest night, meant only for the warrior's sight. And perhaps that warrior is you. Take a breath and come with me as we discover why this sacred mission requires your silence. There are truths, beautiful Aries, that are forged in the silence of the soul. They are not meant to be debated, explained, or shouted from the rooftops. They are too potent, too sacred, that to even speak them prematurely would be to diffuse their power. And this November, you will feel this intensely. A knowing, an insight, a strategic truth that will land in your spirit with the force of a thunderbolt. Those around you may not see it, but you will know it with every fiber of your being. And you must hold it. You must protect it. Not all truths are meant for immediate action or public declaration. Some truths are meant to be held close, to become the fuel for the powerful life you are about to build. This is not the silence of fear or submission, Aries. This is the strategic silence of a warrior sharpening their blade before the dawn. It is a sacred ritual where your validation no longer comes from the outside world, but from the unshakable certainty you are forging within. How many times have you been misunderstood, labeled as too impulsive, too aggressive, too much? You have tried to explain your intentions to people who were never going to hear you anyway. You have wasted your precious fire trying to convince others of your truth, only to be met with blank stares or judgment. But this November, something will shift. You will no longer feel the need to explain. The universe is about to validate you through action, and you will realize, perhaps for the first time, that you have absolutely nothing to prove. No more drawing maps for people who refuse to see your path. No more struggling to put your brilliant, fiery instincts into words they can understand. No more seeking approval from anyone, because you are now becoming the living embodiment of your truth. In the astrological charts for November, Mercury, the planet of communication, will be dancing through the fiery sign of Sagittarius. While this can be a time of bold proclamations, it can also be a time when words are shot like arrows, often missing their mark. This is not the time to persuade. This is the time to listen to your own powerful intuition and to keep your strategy sacred. You, Aries, have never needed noise to know your truth. You feel it. You act on it. Your silence is not empty. It is charged with potential energy. It holds more power than 1,000 arguments. And in that focused stillness, you will hear it. A plan is forming. An answer is crystallizing. A new path is illuminating itself. And you will understand, without a single word being spoken, that this truth is your secret weapon. There is a powerful teaching in many warrior traditions. A plan discussed is a plan foiled. You don't need a council of war to approve your next move. You only need your own heart to give the command. You don't need to shout your intentions from the rooftops. You need to build the foundations in silence. Perhaps you are carrying something powerful inside you right now, a bold dream, a secret plan, a deep, intuitive hit about what you need to do next. And you are wondering, should I share this? I am not here to tell you to hold your tongue forever. I am here to remind you that the most powerful empires are built in silence. The most potent seeds germinate in the darkness. Protect your energy, protect your vision. Others may not understand because they have not walked your path. They haven't faced your dragons. They haven't had to rise, time and time again, from the ashes of their own battles, stronger and brighter than before. They don't understand because they have never been a warrior like you. And for that very reason, you are now released from the need to make them understand. You are not left behind, Aries. You are being forged. You are held in the fire as a guardian of a new timeline, as the one entrusted to witness the birth of something more powerful than words can describe. Because some cosmic secrets are only revealed to those brave enough to walk through the fire to see them. And right now, if you are still here, If your heart is beating in rhythm with these words, as if they are speaking directly to the warrior in your soul, I invite you to do something symbolic. You don't have to reveal your secret plan. Just choose a single word that represents your newfound power. Is it sovereignty, courage, victory, creation? Post that one word in the comments below. This is not for likes or for others. It is a quiet, powerful declaration to the universe. It is you planting your flag in the soil of your future. Let it be a silent roar to the cosmos, affirming that you have heard the call and are ready for the next phase. But be aware, beautiful warrior, a new truth, a new level of power, always attracts a test. It often summons an echo from the past, a shadow you thought was long gone. And Nostradamus spoke of this, of a figure returning from the shadows, not to harm you again, but to remind you that your spirit is no longer the same. In the next chapter of this journey, someone returns, not to apologize, not to explain, but to activate a part of your soul you forgot you possessed. And after that encounter, your heart will feel different. Not because it's breaking, but because it's finally becoming bulletproof. Are you ready? We are about to step into the part of the prophecy where the unexpected arrives to prove just how powerful you have truly become. There are people you believed were chapters of your past, permanently closed and filed away. There are situations you thought you had conquered, leaving them behind on the battlefield of your memory. And then one day in November, with no warning, no fanfare, an echo returns. It may be an old rival, a past love, a situation you thought was resolved. They will stand before you, and your warrior heart will give a quiet, steady beat, not with fear, not with anger, but with recognition. You have moved on, but your soul is now ready for the final exam. The universe is not playing games with you, Aries. It is honoring you. It is giving you a chance to see, with your own eyes, the results of your transformation. You held your silence, didn't you? Not because you had nothing to say, but because you knew your energy was better spent on building your future. You channeled every ounce of frustration, every spark of anger into your own growth. You told yourself to keep moving forward. You put on your armor every single day, and you thought you had simply survived. Until this moment, when that old ghost returns, and this time it does not trigger the same explosion. The true test was never about forgiving them, Aries. For you, the ultimate test is about you finally fully forgiving yourself for not knowing then what you know now. You were once angry with yourself for giving your power away, for fighting battles that weren't yours, for allowing someone to dim your magnificent light. But my beautiful, fiery friend, if someone from your past returns simply so you can witness your own evolution, then this is not a challenge. It is a graduation ceremony. It is a sacred moment for you to look them in the eye and realize you are no longer the person they once knew. Astrologically, there is a subtle but profound energy at play. Neptune, the planet of spiritual wisdom, will be sending a secret, supportive glance to Uranus, the planet of revolution and breakthrough. This is not a loud, dramatic clash. It is a silent, internal revolution. It is a cosmic whisper that says, "You've changed. The old rules no longer apply. The pain no longer hurts in the same way. The triggers no longer work." And in that moment, you don't need anyone to validate you, because you will see yourself with a powerful, undeniable clarity. The surprise is not in their return, it is in your response. You will be the one who stands in the fire and does not burn. You will look at the person or situation that once had the power to shatter you, and you might even offer a small, knowing smile. Not a smile of weakness, but the smile of a warrior who knows they have already won the war. Spiritual texts often speak of forgiveness. The Dhammapada teaches that hatred is only dispelled by love. Christ on the cross said, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." But for you, Aries, forgiveness is not a passive act. It is an act of supreme power. Forgiveness is looking at an old battlefield and realizing it no longer has a claim on your territory. Forgiveness is revoking someone's access to your energy. Forgiveness is cleansing your inner temple so that no one else gets to live there rent-free as a ghost. You no longer need their apology. You need a new horizon, one where you are free to build, to create, and to lead without the weight of the past. This return, whatever form it takes, comes to awaken the part of your soul that has graduated. You will see them, and you will not flinch. You will remember, and you will not retreat. And that, my friend, is your victory. Not over them, but over the old version of you. Perhaps you've told yourself that you're just surviving, just getting by. But you didn't realize that only the most powerful souls dare to walk through fire and emerge with a heart that is not only intact, but burns even brighter. No one gave you a map. No one held your hand. But you did it. In the quiet moments, you healed yourself. In the lonely nights, you became your own champion. You kept moving forward. And if you have ever forgiven someone who never apologized, if you have ever risen from a fall that no one saw, I invite you to share a small piece of that strength. If you feel called, tell us in the comments about a time you knew you had truly overcome something. Not for praise, but because your story of resilience might be the very spark another soul needs to see today. And now, after all of this, there is one final piece of the prophecy that Nostradamus hinted at. He did not describe it with words, but with a symbol, the revelation of the inner sun. Are you ready to see it? Not with your physical eyes, but with the new vision of a soul that has walked through the darkest night and has learned to create its own dawn. In our final part, we will step into the realm where light is no longer something you seek, but something you are. Stay with me, warrior, because what you are about to realize is not an ending. It is your true, magnificent beginning. Sometimes the hardest part of the battle is not the fight itself, but having to live afterward as if you don't carry the scars. You still show up, you still lead, you still push forward and handle your responsibilities. But inside, there is a fire that no one else can see, a story of survival that no one else knows. You are not weak, Aries. You have never been weak. You have just been a warrior for so very long, and no one ever saw the weight of your armor. And this November, you will face one final test. Not to measure your endurance for pain, but to fully awaken the most powerful, sovereign version of your soul. The part of you that has been waiting for this exact moment to take command. You don't have to prove your strength to anyone anymore. You don't have to pretend you're okay. The truth is, you no longer need anyone else to see you, because you are finally, truly seeing yourself. Saturn, the great teacher and master craftsman of the cosmos, is lending its energy to this process. Saturn is not gentle, but it is always fair. If you feel as though every aspect of your life is being examined, every choice being weighed, it is because Saturn is showing you that you can no longer operate under the old paradigms. No more running from your own power. No more delaying your destiny. No more living for the approval of others. The only person you need to surpass now is the old version of you, the one who accepted less than they deserved, the one who fought for those who wouldn't fight for them, the one who sometimes let their fire be used for causes that were not their own. Today, that version of you is being respectfully retired, replaced by the master strategist you have now become, wiser, stronger, and more radiant, not in spite of the battles, but because of them. In the ancient texts of the Stoics, there is a powerful idea. You are your own refuge. No one can save you but yourself. No one can walk your path for you. And you, Aries, have walked through every shadow, step by fiery step, breath by determined breath, often without an external light to guide you. But as the ancient promise says, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. You may have fallen. You may have thought you were defeated, but your inner fire has never ever gone out. Because you are the fire, not the chaotic, destructive wildfire of your youth, but the focused, enduring flame of a forge, powerful enough to create, warm enough to lead, and real enough to guide others. You no longer need a rescuer. You no longer need to hope for a hand to pull you up. You no longer have to wait for someone to knock on the door of your heart and deem you worthy. Because now, you are the one who stands before the mirror and declares, I am worthy of a life built on my own terms. You are the hero you were always waiting for. You once looked out at the world and asked, when is it my turn? When do I get to live a life that reflects my true power? And now, the answer is no longer in the future. It is right here, in the heart of the warrior that no longer resists its own greatness. Because every battle, every scar, every person you've ever loved and lost was preparing you to be strong enough, focused enough, and humble enough to receive this November as your coronation. No one steps into the light without first mastering the dark. And you have walked it, you have fought it, you have conquered it. And now, you are ready. This is not an ending. This is your rebirth as a sovereign creator. If you have journeyed with me this far, if your heart is beating with the powerful truth of these words, I want to invite you to make one final sacred declaration. Write a prayer or an affirmation for your future. Just one sentence. Write it like you are forging it into reality with the fire of your own soul. It doesn't need to be perfect, it only needs to be true. Write it as if you are placing your hand on your own heart and saying, I am ready. And together, we will watch it manifest. No rush, no pressure, only power. Thank you for listening, beautiful Aries. May your heart feel the immense power it has always held. The universe sees you. And here at Astrology Unlocked, so do I.